Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I wanted to do pretty much two different things. I wanted to talk about a particular famous story that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, know about. And at the same time, I wanted to do a book, not book. I'm sorry. I wanted to do a movie review at the same time. Now, not to offend anybody, I know that a lot of my anti-religious stuff is can sometimes be a little bit too much for some people. However, I'm compelled. I have to. I just have to because there's a lot of bullshit out there. That's why. First of all, I wanted to talk about the movie review of the Annabelle. Now, this one I did see The Conjuring. It's a good, entertaining movie. It's a good movie, yeah. It wasn't really scary, and neither was this. I didn't necessarily find it scary, but it was entertaining. I did give it credit for being a good movie. But as far as like really believing, uh, you know, with the way the movie went, the story of this one and stuff like that, I have to say it's straight up bullshit. I mean, I'm sure there's some truth to it. In the basement and you feel this creepy vibe. From that samurai armor, which is the one that's closest to the door. That creepy wedding dress on that mannequin, and a bunch of these other objects, and of course the prodigy one, which is the Annabelle doll. I'm sure if for anybody who actually goes in there, they could feel the creepy vibe, especially coming from the Annabelle doll. I'm pretty sure there's some truth to that, yes. But Hollywood tends to exaggerate in order to make it more scary, to give it, and then just to make the movie more exciting. And then of course, people benefit from it, especially money. The thing about it is, just like for example, The Exorcist, people being possessed it is possible. Yes, I do believe that that's also possible. It's caused by power of suggestion. It's caused by people that are emotionally or psychologically damaged, even if it's just temporary, whether it's depression or whatever. Because Reagan, in the 12-year-old girl, um, the mother was cursing a lot, and she was angry at her ex-husband, and there was a lot of family drama, and bad things were happening. And of course, what made it worse was her playing with the Ouija board, and that pretty much brought all that shit in. And of course, there's a little bit of exaggerations here and there in the movie. Now, with this movie, obviously, is no different. There is some truth to it, but there's also a lot of, it tends to exaggerate. In other words, there was a lot of exaggeration, and of course, it was done for what I just told you before. So, as a horror movie, I give it a thumbs up. It's very entertaining, but as far as like actually being stupid enough to believe that it's completely 100% accurate from the beginning of the movie to the end, fuck no. I had to give it two thumbs down on that one because it's not really completely accurate, because of the fact that Satan is actually a myth, and just as well as God. And I told you, and I explained the reason why in other previous videos, and I'm going to say it right now, because God and Satan, from the Bible's point of view, was actually pretty much based on something else, from, like I said, from the ancient Sumerians. and there's other things that happen in the remote past, and and in the Council of Nicaea they just picked whatever they want, and then they managed to excuse me, I was eating something earlier, so they managed to actually come up with their own type of bullshit in order to control people. So as far as this goes, okay, pretty much, as far as this movie goes, it's entertaining. It's somewhat true, but not completely true. It's been exaggerated. Another very important point that I wanted to make out is I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead, because I know that Lorraine Warren and her husband, I do believe that they're, legit parapsychologists, how they actually, and how they go to haunted houses, and I do believe that she's somewhat of a clairvoyant. But some of the stuff that they were saying just has to be bullshit. The Amityville horror house, that is something that's very important that I have to bring to your attention. The Amityville horror house was based on something that actually happened. I do believe it actually happened. All that horror stuff, not from the movie's point of view. Like I said before, Hollywood tends to bullshit a little bit. They tend to exaggerate. And of course they did it for the sake of, entertainment, just to make it more exciting and this and that. Like, I saw the documentary in which the oldest son, Danny, was explaining his story. He was very reluctant on certain parts of the story, and I don't really fucking blame him. I don't. And he talked about how the window that the scene, for those of you who've seen the 1970s version of it, where the window slammed on the kid's fingers. He explained about that, but the way the story happened, it didn't happen the way like in the movie. They weren't messing with the little sister, and then the window, that the imaginary friend or whatever made the window slide down. It didn't happen that way, according to him. They said that he was trying to open up the window because it was stuck, and he managed to open it up. His brother said, "Did you get it open?" And he had his hand on the by the edge right there, and he said, "Yeah, I got it open." And then, pow, smashed his fingers. And even though, and then of course, the other brother had to get his mom. His mom came up, and then they managed to get the window open up enough to get his fingers out. He said it swelled up so badly for a while, for a couple of hours. He said, or I don't know how long, but it was swelled up so bad. He said it looked like a catcher's mitt. And but then after a while, I don't know how long. I don't know if it was half an hour or something like that. I completely forgot. But the fingers went back down to normal. The swelling went down, except that his pinky was still a little bit fucked up. He said it was, and he was showing it to the camera how it has like a little bit of a curve. And then the lady that was interviewing him was saying, "Well, did your parents take you to the hospital right away?" And he says, "No. They never took him to the fucking hospital." And one thing that I honestly believe is the catalyst, the reason why it happened, was because of his father. I do believe that, not his father, I'm sorry, his stepfather. The stepfather, the Lutz, that's his last name, and he was actually practicing the occult. And his son Danny was actually, his stepson, Danny, was actually saying he saw George Lutz. He saw him one time. This was before they moved into Amityville. He didn't like him when his mother got together with him and stuff like that. He thought he was an asshole, which he was. He was very abusive. He was very he was a Marine, and he was a one of those rugged type of real mean person, and he basically ruined this kid's life. He said he witnessed when he was younger, right before they moved out of the house that his mother sold into Amityville. He said that the George Lutz was actually with his friends inside a garage, and Denny's actually saw him doing a telekinesis. There was a wrench that he actually levitated, and with the power of his mind, he made it float across the room very slowly onto the tool table or whatever like that. And he was there with a couple of other guys of his friends. He freaked out on what he saw. He knew what he saw. He ran to tell his mom what happened and what he witnessed, and then his mom was like, "What? What?" She don't want to believe it. She was like, "That sounds like a crazy story." So they brought him over, and then he says, "Show my mom what you just did right now." They didn't say a word. They all got up and they left. Well, at least they left the room, and then they gave no explanation whatsoever. Nothing. He found out that his stepdad had all these occult books, everything from mantra to meditation, and not that any of this stuff is evil. It depends on how you use it. There's like meditation. There's stuff on mind power, hypnosis, some like Buddhist teachings of that kind of thing. There's not that all the occult is evil. It depends on the person who's doing it. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. Obviously, this guy used it for evil. And then when he finally moved into Amityville, which was already pretty much negative energy in there because of the DeFeo case, so it left negative energy from from the fighting and the violence, and then all that negative energy from that family, and then the murders that actually happened when killing those 6 people, killing his 2 brothers, his 2 sisters, and his parents, and then that left some negative energy. So when the Lutz moved in, it made it worse because he continued to practice all this stuff, and then just dabbling and being an expert in it, and he actually managed to unleash or cause the negative energy to grow even larger. Evil spirits took notice of it. They pretty much did whatever they can to. They made the house worse to the point that it became like a devil's, well, not devil's, but like an evil playground. And they lasted for only 28 days. They booked it. They got the fuck out of there. They just pretty much abandoned the house. That's how fucking scared they were. And what I did not appreciate at all, was the fact that the Warrens didn't mention anything about the stepfather, George Lutz, practicing any kind of occult or anything like that. Now, why would they? And then they try to put the blame on the DeFeo, Ronnie DeFeo. They try to put the blame on him. And I thought it was really, really fucked up. And first of all, why would they put the blame on him? Ronnie DeFeo didn't practice any of that stuff. I don't know. I don't really think he did. I could be wrong, but I don't really think he did. And it was so fucked up that they didn't even bother to even mention that he dabbled in it. And then in one documentary, when Danny was talking about it, they said, "Do you think he practiced it and they became like a catalyst and made it worse?" And Lorraine was like, it's possible, yeah, it's possible. But she's kind of doubting it. She's trying to say that it was just the house was already evil to begin with, and that people that lived there even before the DeFeos had demonic activity, and then people that moved in right after the Lutz sold their house, had it for foreclosure and stuff like that. That they went in there, and then there was some more demonic activity, and all these psychics came in, and all this kind of stuff like that. And these psychics, some of these bullshit psychics, yes, said that yeah, I felt something evil in there. This, something about Satan and something about this and that and all this kind of bullshit. I mean, that I didn't appreciate at all. And of course, saying all this stuff into making people to draw a conclusion that it has to do with Satan or the devil and something with devil worship. I'm pretty sure that bad things happened in there. People being killed. I wouldn't doubt if something happened before the DeFeos. I'm pretty sure that there was something about drowning somebody in the big pool area and stuff like that. So there's a lot of mystery there, but the point is something doesn't seem right. I do believe that the Warrens were pretty much legitimate, but at the same time, I do believe they're exaggerating or bullshitting just a little bit. But for what reason? What reason? That's what I'm trying to fucking figure out. Something doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I give you my review on this. It's a good movie, but I don't necessarily completely believe it. Anything to make people believe that there's a Satan and so much stupid shit. All the evil shit that actually happens has something to do with something else. It has nothing to do with the devil. I do believe there's evil forces and evil things like that exist, yeah. As well as the good side. And, okay, that's pretty much it. Questions or comments, you know what to do. This is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.